Well, sixth graders at a school in Yonkers are learning life lessons, what it means to eat healthy. They're learning how to buy, how to cook, and how to eat healthy meals for themselves and their families. It's all thanks to Goya and some dedicated teachers.
We are back here today for another health lesson, and we are going to be talking about the importance of nutrition on our bodies, on our minds, and what exactly MyPlate is and how important it is for us to understand what it represents in living a healthy life.
I think it helps a lot of kids to know how important your diet and a balanced meal is.
I always tell my mom that instead of eating this, we should go to the supermarket and get something else. And so far, she's listened to me, and she's telling me that she's glad that we're doing this because it helps us to eat better and stay active as a family.
Who would like to share some of their answers that the groups came up with?
So we have vitamins, we have minerals, we have carbohydrates. Cheryl, give me another one.
There's also protein.
Proteins, another important nutrient.
Keeps our muscles dense.
Keeps our muscles
Tissue dense.
good. Muscle builds up muscle tissue. Good job. What is the major nutrient that comes from the fruit group? Vitamins, minerals. Good.
Before they start, do they really have any understanding of nutrition?
Prior to the start of our nutrition unit, which usually starts in September, they had very little to no knowledge. We do brainstorming activities about the 6 essential nutrients, which they weren't really familiar with. What MyPlate was, most of the students weren't familiar with MyPlate at all. And over the past 2 months, they just build a foundation of how important nutrition is. I emphasize to them all the time how I think nutrition is the most important subject that they'll ever learn, because you are what you eat, and the decisions that you make regarding nutrition affect you for the rest of your life.
What I love about it is that you're not just teaching about the MyPlate, you're teaching about portions, you're talking about serving sizes and reading labels. I mean, these kids really are learning.
Right. There's one thing between what a healthy meal is, because if you have a healthy snack, how much of that should you eat? You can eat a lot, you can eat a little. It's important for them to understand exactly how much they should be taking into their bodies, at what points during the day they should be taking those nutrients in, and exactly why a food label is so important. They have to understand if they do not read a food label, they have no idea what's going into their body, and therefore, that could lead to a lot of trouble.
It has lots of carbohydrates, and it gives me some protein.
Right. So did you ever think that you'd be winding up reading labels to see what it is? Usually you just used to what?
I just used to just eat it right away. I didn't know what was in the food.
One of the things that we find is that lots of times parents do not have the time to be able to educate their children in terms of what it's like to have to go into a supermarket and read a label, for example, or to learn about exactly what's in, for example, a bean, or what's a carbohydrate, or proteins. And so when we have programs like this, we really hone in to the children, so that then what happens is that they bring this back to their homes. So we're not just teaching the children, we're actually teaching an entire community.
MyPlate is a tool or a resource that Michelle Obama came up with in order to give you a visual representation of what a healthy meal should look like. We know that it's broken down into 5 different food groups.
MyPlate campaign has helped me start eating healthier, and it's helped me start looking at nutrition fact labels. Like when I eat, I see the nutrition fact label, and I'm telling my mom to buy like the cups, because most of them say half a cup or something.
Why are complex carbohydrates the good type of carbohydrates for our body? Emmanuel.
Because it's our body's main source of energy.
Good.
And when we look at these food labels, it's very, very important that we look at serving size, servings per container, calories, and even sugars. Ivan.
Nutrition keeps you nourished and energized throughout the day. After a good physical activity, it will give you protein to rebuild your tissue, bones, and keep it dense.
These students, they go home, they practice what they're taught. They tell their family members tell other family members, and it just expands throughout the whole community. And that's all we can do right now. And if all the schools across the nation do that, we would have a lot healthier society, especially when it comes to educating kids at such a younger age.
Thanks again to the folks at Goya. We're proud to have them as our advertising partner. And a special thank you to the Charter School of Education and Excellence for having us there that day. Those kids were great.